All right, guys, let's do this. What up? It's JoJo on the radio. This is the iHeartRadio countdown, and holy crap, Benny Blanco, when's the last time I saw you? Like 100 years ago, right?
I'd say about 98 years ago.
Dude, I've been behind the scenes. I've been telling people like, Benny's got the best. One thing I know about you, you've got some of the best stories. Something about your life. Just, I don't know.
Really? This is a lot to live up to.
I know, so no pressure. Like if you stink it up this time, it's just, and your hair, man, I think my hair is catching up to your hair.
You got some good hair. The way it's poking through is just perfect. You know, for anyone listening to this, this man brushes his teeth before every interview he ever does. How many interviews do you do a day?
This week alone, I've got at least 5.
What's the most amount of times you ever brushed your teeth in a day?
5 or 6, give or take. That's on a high.
Isn't it bad for you at a certain point? Doesn't it like brush off the enamel or something?
Well, I don't. You know what? To be honest with you, when I brush, like you come in, like anytime somebody comes in, and there are times when I haven't brushed my teeth, but it's become sort of a tradition.
Yeah,
an artist comes in, I brush my. It's not. I don't plan on kissing you.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I'd like it.
I mean, we can work it out, but I just give it a little brush so my teeth feel. I don't even know if I'm doing enough to really affect like cavities.
Yeah. Has anyone ever? I have one of those toothbrushes with a timer on it, and I always wondered, does anyone ever I've never made it to I don't think I've ever brushed my teeth for more than like 30 seconds. You're supposed to brush them for a full 2 minutes.
Are you serious? I did not know that. 2 minutes? That would be
2 minutes. I've let the thing run just to see before, and it's an eternity. It's insane.
But do you have any cavities?
No.
I think, well, then you must be doing something right.
Yeah, I don't brush. My thing is, if I'm doing an interview, I never brush my teeth. That's my one thing.
That is awesome. Benny, I don't know if you keep track of this. I'm not sure if this number is accurate, but God, according to this blog I read, you are behind or a part of in some way, most likely producing 29 number one hit songs.
That's crazy.
Is that, do you have a number? Is that, you probably don't even keep track. That's my guess.
I really don't, but that number sounds good.
It does sound good, right?
I like that blog.
That's Benny Blanco's favorite blog. Is there, looking back on these tracks, and granted, once again, you don't have the number, but is there any tracks like you think like, man, like that one's my favorite? Or are there any, probably the more, interesting question, are there any tracks you've done, successful ones that like, man, I don't really like that one anymore. I'm kind of over it.
Not like that, but there are ones where you're like, where you didn't know. You had no idea. It was like, I had no idea until right before it came out that Rihanna's Diamonds was going to be like this huge thing. Like until I heard her voice on it. And then like once I heard her, I was like, oh yeah, we're good. But I remember I was with Sia, and we were at like a furniture store together, just like hanging out, and we got like the recording back of Rihanna, and I was just like, man, can Rihanna sing all my songs? Like,
no kidding.
She's so good.
And keep in mind, that song is still, powerful and still being played in rotation on radio stations there today.
Oh my God. She's so good. I mean, it's crazy.
Are you working on anything with her new, is
she working on music?
She must be, right? I mean, maybe not now, but
who knows? I honestly, the reason that I did that song is Stargate brought me in, and they do a lot of her work. And, honestly, I had no idea the song. It all happened so quickly. It was like, oh yeah, we're going to do the song. And then one day later we got it. And then like 3 days later, it was literally out on the radio. Like it was so quick. It was one of the quickest songs I've ever
Are you exaggerating, or is that a real timeline?
Under a week, the whole thing.
From getting it to on the radio.
It was insane. It was like, even like her, I don't even think her label, I think she just like put it out. It was honestly, it was one of the craziest experiences. It was, I think that one, also Kesha's We Are Who We Are. I remember we finished it, and it was like out maybe 1 week later. It was like we were finishing it, and then it was just out.
That seems like, if I saw that in a movie, I'd be like, that's just crap.
It's crazy. Sometimes I have songs that take 10 years to come out. Actually, I've had songs that like I write, and then I really don't put them out for like years and years and years.
You probably forgot you had them.
I know. I do sometimes. And then I listen to them and then I'm like, oh, yeah, that song. And then I'm like, oh, I'll put that out.
By the way, should I ask you, and if I should, I'll ask it later, but should I ask you why you were in the furniture store with Sia? Or is that, just furniture shopping, I guess?
I think we were just like hanging out in
the furniture store.
And I think one of us was probably like, oh, I need something for my house. I think we were like on the way to the studio. I can't remember. She's like the best person in the world. Sia's just the type of person that would be in the furniture. If Sia was like, hey, let's go to the zoo, like that would be not out of character. She's like the kookiest, best person on planet Earth.
Oh man. I've never met, I've met a lot of people, never met her.
Really?
Never. Maybe she hates me. I don't know. But talk about an artist.
Could be the hair.
It could be the hair for sure. Working on a new album. It's to my understanding later on this year. Anything you can leak, unveil? Probably not because it's super top secret James Bond status. But what can you say, Benny Blanco?
Look, I could tell you, I got a lot of my friends on it. There are honestly, there's some collaborations on this one where I'm just like, how did I get these people? It's really like this one I really surprised myself with a few. Like I was like, honestly, I'm just like, how did I get these two people to do this song together?
So two people. Okay, let me just dig, and you're gonna have to be cryptic.
Just get out of here.
Let me try. Two people that did a song together on your album. They're so big you can't, or they're so untouchable. You're surprised they are on your album, or you're surprised that they did it together, or both.
I think it's both.
Really?
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, all right.
I got there, and some familiar faces that have been on some other records of mine, and I feel like I'm starting to figure out this artist thing. Or I suck at it, and this will be the last one.
Oh man, you really got something, dude. You really do. When you say you're thinking, you think you figured it out. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, you feel more comfortable in your own skin on that part of the stage, kind of a thing.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm figuring out like what people want, like from me. Like,
what do they want from you?
Fart jokes. No. What do they want? What do they want from me? I think usually I try to make songs that like capture how I'm feeling in that moment. And I know if I'm feeling like a certain way, that at least a few other people might be feeling that way.
Well, the album later this year, that's the target?
Later this year.
You said, because you bring artists in, you kind of, you produce them and whatnot, but you said the most effective way, I think you said this, the most effective way to get artists to open up is to ask them, how are you really feeling? And you kind of become their therapist. Have you ever had one of those, give me one of those moments, and do they ever overshare? You're like, whoa, slow down.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? It's just like everyone. It's like if someone asks you like how you're doing, you might be like, oh, I'm fine. And then you're like, how you doing? They're like, no, I'm fine. And then it's like one more time, and then they're like, ah! Like, oh my God, I've had artists cry. I've had artists laugh. I've had artists, tell me things they've never even told anyone before. And when you're just in a setting and everyone's comfortable, and I don't know, I also don't really work with artists that I'm not like pretty close with or can get very close with.
Even you mentioned a moment ago on your album, not that I'm digging for info, but your album that's coming out, you can't believe you got these two artists on your album, or to do it together or whatever.
Yeah.
You're not friends with those two people, or friendly?
I'm very close with one of them, and the other one is someone that I've known for a while, but we're becoming closer.
Gotcha. All right. So back to the current question.
You like that. You're trying to dig.
Sorry about that, Benny. I'm digging a little dirt there. I'm excited for the album though, but they start giving out too much info. Not too much, but they just start unloading.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. And that's when the inspiration comes. It's like, sometimes it comes from talking about things, and sometimes you write a song about not wanting to talk about something, like I remember Love Yourself, when me and Ed started writing it. I was like, what's on your mind? And then he's like, we're talking about girl stuff, and he's like, I don't want to write a song about that. And I was like, why don't we write a song about not wanting to write a song? And then it's literally, I don't want to write a song. You know what I mean? So those type of moments just happen.
Isn't it crazy how the simplest conversations can become these legendary songs that live forever?
It's so weird.
Let me start with Snoop, and we'll get to BTS Army, get ready. But working with Snoop, give me, I'm sure first things first, if you work with him in the studio, there was a lot of greenery in the room, clearly. I mean, that dude, seriously.
Yes. Well, the first time I ever worked with Snoop was on California Girls.
Right.
What's that, like 13 years ago or something?
Good Lord, yeah.
Something like that. And then, we've worked a handful of times, and then he always is the best. Like I remember when me and Lil Dicky did that song Earth, he did it with us. Like he's just, there's a weird thing. I was saying this the other day. It's like, no matter what era you were born in, he's your hero. I don't understand. Like, it's like he's like one of you, like, I don't eat, like, we could be the same age, we could be different ages. It doesn't matter. You're just like, oh yeah, Snoop Dogg. He's actually my favorite. Like, he's just the best. Like, have you ever gotten to meet him?
Yeah, a couple of times. And he's just, he's just so lovable. But I guess to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, he's for any genre of, that's the wrong, any type of,
anything. It doesn't matter.
The hardest gangster, the hardest of hardcore. He's legit. He can walk in that crowd. He can coach a youth football team. He can do a kids show.
He's literally with Martha Stewart. Like, it's insane. He's the thing that's so cool is, like, he's one of those guys that, like, when you're around, you know how, like, some artists and celebrities, like, they kind of make you feel like a little small sometimes.
Right.
He's one of those people that when you're around him, he makes you feel the best you can feel about, like, yourself too. And he just, like, has such a way of making people feel, like, comfortable, and he's, like, the funniest guy, and everything he says is cool. Anything he says is cool. He'll say your name cooler than you've ever heard it being said.
It's kind of like if someone talks, like, anything in French sounds amazing.
Snoop is the new French.
He's the new French. But did you work with him in studio on this, on a Bad Decision? Okay, so there we go. All right. Tour, is it too early to talk tour talks or like hitting the road later on?
That's like my worst nightmare.
You don't like that?
Oh my God.
My next question was, do you like life on the road? I guess that's a big O-N-O, right?
That's like my worst nightmare. Like the things I hate the most are, like, anytime I, like, have to, like, do anything live, like when we do, like, SNL or we do something like that. Like, I don't understand how any human could like it.
Is it the traveling or the actual event itself?
I think just the event. Like, you're sitting there and everything leads up to this one moment. And then when the moment happens, you forget it even like, you get off stage and you're like, man, when's that going to happen? And it already happened. Like, so it's all leading up. It's like days leading up to this one moment. I just don't like it. I don't like performing. I guess some people I like being the center of attention in front of, like, 5 of my friends, not in front of the world.
Do you have to tour? I mean, no, I know it's a. No. I mean, so you don't. So no, I'm bringing up tour. Why you don't have to?
No,
then don't do it. Right?
Yeah, I don't do it. The only thing I do is, like, I'll do, like, award shows and stuff. But, like,
see, I would think you would not like award shows, because if you have your own show, if you do your tour, it's set up like you want it to be. Like, you want the piano here and the keyboard there and the mic.
No, you
there.
get to do that on award shows.
Well, you do, but it's such a rushed. It's so rushed, and then this is you. All of a sudden, you're off stage, and then Coldplay is rushed on, and then Ed's back on.
It's insane. The first time I did one, I had no idea, because I've been at award shows, but you never know till you're, like, on the stage, and they're like. It's crazy for, like, people listening. There's so much that goes into it. You'll be on. Okay. So you're, like, sitting, they're like, all right, get right now. And you're, like, waiting for so long, and they're like, come on. And you're like, and you, like, run, and you're like, get to the stage. And then there's, like, people, like, still moving the stuff. Like, they'll be like 30 seconds. And there's, like, guys, like, sweep. They're still, like, building the set. I don't even understand. And then they're like, 10 seconds, and there's like people like you think that they'll never be done, and until, like, even when they say, like, 1 second, there's, like, a man that'll, like, roll off, like, and be, like, pulled off, so that, like, just in the nick of time. And then it's like, I don't know how people, like, luckily I don't have to sing, like, they'll be like, 2 seconds, like right in front of like, I remember it was like I was like with Khalid and there was like a man just like yelling right to the side of him and they like pulled this carpet down like right when and then it's like, boop, then the song's on and you're singing. It's just crazy.
Okay, I saw one thing. This freaked me out. This is years ago at a Teen Choice Award. This is like NSYNC days. And they, the backstage, there's these high ceilings for everything to go, and there was a giant roll of carpet. Or something, roll of something.
Okay.
It was, literally probably 50 feet high. Okay. And this thing fell.
No.
And luckily, it fell luckily where nobody was at the time, but if it would have landed on it would have probably killed them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Ever since then, I'm kind of a little leery about the move, go, right. It's just, it's kind of dangerous,
Yeah. It's all dangerous. I'm scared. I just want to be at home.
There we go. BTS Army. They love them some BTS, Benny, as you know. Working with BTS, I don't think this is the first time you've worked with them. I'm sure you've been bumped, or is it the first time?
This is the first time we worked.
Have you met them before or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you meet? What was it like working with them on this track? Give me a good BTS Benny Blanco story.
Okay. I had heard about the whole BTS phenomenon. Everyone had, for years. They've been, some people might think it's like they like just got big. They've been so big and doing so many crazy things for years. And I went and I saw a concert, okay?
This is what year?
Within the past few years.
Okay.
So I went and I saw a concert and my jaw was on the ground the entire. Have you ever been to one of their concerts?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get there. Let me just, if you don't know, if you're the one person in the world who doesn't know who BTS is, you get to the show and it doesn't matter what state, what country, it doesn't matter where you are. There's 80,000 people there, no matter what. And this isn't like me being like, oh, there was like 80. No, there's 80,000 people there, no matter where you are. And they've played that venue probably for the last 3 days. So there's really hundreds of thousands of people that have come to this show. So you get there and every single person has a light and the light like goes to the beat of the song. Every single person knows every word. It is the loudest crowd you've ever heard in your entire life. Okay, before they even come out, like music videos get played on the screen and it's louder than anyone. The people are singing louder than anyone's encore of like their biggest show they've ever done in their whole life. And this is before the band is even out. Then they finally come out. It's constant. It's just a constant cheering from the second it starts until it ends. And they're like, they really are like the most talented. They can do everything. They can sing and dance better than anyone. Like, everything they do is just 150%. And I remember seeing it and I was like, I got to work with these guys. And I actually got to meet them that night. And I remember meeting them and I went downstairs and I was like, man, you guys are so good looking. That's what, like, I was like, you never know until you like meet. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, you guys look perfect. Like everyone's perfect. And I was like, I remember like going into the bathroom after by myself and I was like, why don't you look like that?
God, they are just, they're spectacular.
It's crazy. They're incredible and they're so humble and so nice and so like thoughtful and just like, they're also like Snoop. Like when you're with them, they make you feel so good. I'm like, am I in the band? Like that's how you feel.
It's amazing. They deserve all the credit they're getting. Did you work with them in studio for this track or?
They were in Korea when they actually recorded it, which was so cool. So we were recording like on Zoom. So it was like back and forth of, and I remember I had to stay up so late because the time zones. So I kind of am just living on Korean time at this point. Like, cause we do so many things, on their time zone. So when we recorded the song, I remember it was like I had to like stay awake. We recorded till like
how exciting though, right?
5 a.m. my time. Yeah, it was yeah, everything's exciting. Everything's like I'm like a little kid. Anytime I release a song, I'm like, wee! Like I'm like,
God, one of these days, Benny. Not to change. Not to change the subject, but I want to sit and be a fly on the wall during one of your sessions. I would love to do that.
Brush your teeth.
I'm going to brush my teeth and show up. Benny, we've talked about Snoop. We've talked about BTS. You working with both at Bad Decisions. What else do people need to know about this track? How did it all come together?
Man, what do you need to know? You need to know that this is going to be the biggest song in the world.
That's what I hear. Let me write that down. Biggest song in the world.
Exactly. Now, you need to know that I was feeling a little nostalgic. I was feeling like I want to, I was fortunate enough to make a lot of songs in like 2010, 2011. And I was like, man, I want to hear that sound a little bit. I want to go back in time. I want to hear the sound. It's a song that, lately I've been writing like a lot of like very melancholy songs. And this is just a song where it's just like, I'd like to have a good time. We've all had a rough few years. Every day there's something else. And it's been tough on everyone. And I feel like everyone just like, it's time to like, everyone wants to be outside. Everyone wants to have a good time now. And I was like, I want to have a good time. I want to make a song to have everyone have a good time. I don't know. It's so hard to talk about your own songs. I don't know. I made the song. Listen to it.
Let me just push the red blinking button and we'll do this. Benny, 2-part question, sir. Part number 1, what do you consider your best live performance? Everything was just about as close to perfection as possible. Flip of that, what do you consider your worst? Everything, complete disaster.
All right. Worst one first. Honestly, it's a tie. Okay. First worst one, I was on tour with 303.
Oh,
okay.
Love those dudes.
Back in the day, on tour with 303. And we were playing in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And we were on the stage. They had to shut down this. We weren't going to be able to perform because inside it was over 100 degrees. And
wow.
We were like, this was at the Rise. There was probably only like 1,500 kids in there, maybe 2,000. And this is like when everything was starting to happen. Don't Trust Me was just starting to become a big song. And I remember I was DJing and they had this guitarist and our setup was like janky. And I remember, and there was like drums, everything. And I was the DJ. And I remember there was like a cord coming out of my computer.
Oh, here we go.
I just remember the guitarist was like getting a little drunk and he like did this like thing where he like air jumped and then went down and fully pulled out my entire audio cord. And it was one of those things where like they were just playing along to the thing. So it sounded like it was like and then like the live drummer and like one thing that was like and then it was just like, and I didn't know how to get it back. I couldn't find the cord because it was like dark. So, and then I noticed it and it had knocked out my power supply and my computer died. So I had to literally be like, do the thing that was like when your computer restarts on like a huge monitor stereo system.
Bling, bling, bling,
yeah. And it was just, that was embarrassing. My other really embarrassing one was, one time I was performing, it was like one of my first shows, it was like a rap show. And I got the tempo was all messed up on like my thing and I spilled a beer on it and I couldn't change the tempo. So the person had to rap the song like 40 times faster. Like, so they were like a song that was like, nah, nah, nah. They were like, and like they couldn't stop because it was, and we fixed it after that song, but that was terrible.
Was he looking back to you like, dude, what are you doing? You're like, it's a beer.
Yeah, I was just like, you can see there's video footage of me just being like, I don't know. And then best one, honestly, like one of the craziest ones was when me and Justin played SNL together. And I remember it's like one of those moments where you're just like, don't up.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It's just me on a we're on a piano and him singing, and it's like, just don't mess up. Like, don't mess up. So I'm sitting there, and I remember, and it's like, we're almost done with the song. And then we like come into like the last chorus, and he sings the last chorus and does like the best run. And I remember like in the thing, if you look at me, I'm like, cause I had like no idea he was going to do this run. And it just like proves like Justin's just like, oh yeah, like, you want to see me do something so easily and have it be the best thing you've ever heard? All right now. And he did it. And then I remember we were walking off. Like he gave me a hug, and then we were walking off, and he was just like, I can't believe I just did that thing. And cause it was like, so it was such a good moment. And then he was just like, he just started like shedding a tear and crying like back. And he was like, man, this song's so important to me. And then I was just like, oh, thank God I didn't up. That's like all I was saying. But it was one of those surreal moments, because it was the first time I ever played SNL as a lead artist. Like I played before in like a band with someone, but like it was a strange moment.
Dude, that's intense, and just, I don't know, beautiful. What can I say? You and Marshmello did the world's biggest s'more.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen this video, I just caught wind of it. I'm a year behind on this. Walk me through this. Like, this thing was huge.
We made the world's largest s'more. Like, first of all, people were making s'mores that were huge. This was very hard. The way we had to make, so the each graham cracker was about the size of a car. So we had to find, it was so much more complicated than I thought. First of all, I thought the biggest s'more was going to be like a foot long. Like I thought it was going to be like or maybe like 2 feet long. So the hardest part was we had to find all the ingredients and how you could mix them to make a graham cracker, because you have to mix them in a bowl that is like the size of this room.
Well, that's true. You couldn't like special order big graham crackers. You had to actually make them.
No, you can't order.
I figured like Benny Blanco could call up, the graham cracker company and
the graham cracker company is like, yeah, we make ones that are 18 feet long.
It'll be a special order.
So
you made it, yeah.
So first you have to do that. Then you have to figure out, what type of tray are you putting this on to cook it? Okay. So then you have to figure out, how are you putting this in an oven? What oven can fit a car? So all of these things. And then when it's done, this was the craziest part that I really didn't think of. How do we get the graham cracker off without it breaking? Because it's thin, like a real graham cracker, but it's still stuck to it. Have you ever made like a cookie and it's like stuck a little bit to the sheet pan?
Got to shimmy it with the spatula, kind of.
Yeah. You got to shimmy a 12-foot thing with the spatula.
It is. And I saw you and Marshmello and another gentleman you guys were working with.
Yeah, Zach.
Yeah. And just eating this thing. Yes. I mean, did it taste like a normal s'more? Or
yeah, it did, but you're eating 40 pounds of it. It's insane.
It looked kind of gross, too, yeah. I mean, that big, you're like,
it's
whoa.
Disgusting. We're disgusting people.
Benny, I don't know if you know this about me or not, but I am obsessed with the paranormal. Ghosts, UFOs, all the crazy stuff in between. I've got a podcast called Paranormalish. I am clearly off the deep end. Have you, and the reason I ask artists this is, for the most part, you guys travel around a lot and do a lot, stay in hotels. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you come across some crazy ones. Have you ever had a paranormal encounter, Benny Blanco?
I think we were staying. I didn't notice it, but everyone else noticed this thing. I was just like tired, I think. Everyone else noticed when we were staying in this really old house in Italy. Like, everyone else except me did notice something. I think I was just really tired. And then,
like what? Like they saw like a thing, a person.
They saw or felt like a ghost. And I think I've definitely I've had moments where I feel like maybe I've there's something else like with me in the room. You know, my dog notices things a lot.
That's what they say.
Yeah, my dog really does a lot. Sometimes like my dog will see something, like stay, not like even bark crazy, like see something, stay, and then have to find his way like around it. It's like he's walking around an actual figure. It's really weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, he does that. Have I seen a UFO? I don't know. I don't think so. I definitely believe that there's like we'd be so dumb to think that there's not something else out there. So there's definitely, I'd like to see some. Have you seen them?
I've had not a UFO.
Yeah.
I've had multiple doors at once slam on me for no reason that I could figure out. I didn't see anything standing there.
Yeah.
If there were a hotel, let's say you did some traveling, did a show, whatever, and they said, "Hey, there's a haunted room. Would you be down to stay in the haunted room and report back and tell me what you saw?"
Yeah, as long as I can do it with like my friends.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to find you a haunted room now.
Yeah.
Note to self.
Would you stay in it?
Yeah. I've done it.
Did it feel haunted?
I've had some. I stayed. We did a bit at the Roosevelt Hotel in L.A. Had some psychics come in and all that stuff. Yeah. And then they all left. And then I stayed there the night. And the funny thing is, when I was checking into the room, I requested a specific room. And I walked to the guy at the front desk, and the guy looks down at his monitor and he goes, "Can I ask why you requested this one specific room?" Like, "Yeah, that's the haunted room." He goes, "I just wanted to hear you say it."
Really?
And I stayed there, and I woke up at 4:44 in the morning. I'm not sure what that means. I've read a couple of things, but for some reason, I just shot out of bed at 4:44 a.m. And there's several theories. The angel, it's all that stuff. So that's to be continued with that one.
Did it feel like a good haunted or a bad?
I had some wild dreams, really wild dreams, which I'll tell you about later on. Benny, this is I got a couple of older stories that this is one you told me about, but I just want you to walk me through it again because I find it one of the funnier things. One of the first places your music ever appeared professionally was a softcore porn.
Oh, yeah.
That's where everything sort of started.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Give me that thing again.
All right. So at this point, I was very early in my career. One of the people who discovered me was a guy named Jonathan Schechter. He started Source Magazine, he started a bunch of things. He also started this like softcore porn called Hip Hop Honeys. And it was like a DVD series back when and it was like the biggest softcore porn like ever sold or something. And it was like all the girls in music videos like dancing to beats naked. And I remember, and it was like everyone was in it. It was like 50 Cent's in it. Like all the big artists were in it. And I remember just being like, oh my God, man, you got, all the guys made really good beats for it. And I was like, oh, I want to be one of the guys that makes the beat. And then I remember he was like, if you do a good beat, I'll put you in it. And I was like 13 or 14. And
oh my God.
I remember I like made a beat and he gave me like $250, which at the time was so cool. I got like $250 and I remember the DVD came to my house and I ran and got it and like I was waiting for it for like, and this was like before like you could like, I'd be like, when would it be here? Like, you don't know. And I'm like, I would like check every day and it got there and I like ripped it open and like I showed like, I had all my friends over and we like watched it. We're like cheering, and my mom came down and she's like, what are you watching?
Oh God.
And I was just like, it was just like 6 guys crowded over a small TV of just like a naked woman dancing to like my music. And I was like, Mom, it's my music. She's like, you're not watching this anymore. So she like took the DVD from me and I would, anytime a friend would come over, I'd like sneak into her room and I knew where she hid it and I would like play it for my friends, then put it like right back. I think to this day, she doesn't even know that I like knew where it was.
Is it still hidden in her or,
She doesn't live there anymore, but I'm sure she has a new hiding space for it.
Oh God. All the stuff you've done and you still got lots more to do, of course, but what do you consider your biggest career moment so far? Or is this it?
Like with you?
Me, right? Well, yeah, maybe not now,
yeah,
but
yeah, right now. This is it. it.
If this is, you need to get out more. But yeah,
I was talking about this the other day. I was doing this charity thing, and they asked me the same question. And for me, it's like I always have these moments, okay, where you put the flag there, and you say, I got to get to there. And then you get to there, and then you're like, I got to get to there. And then you get to there. So I feel like every big moment I do is that moment in that time. And then I get another one that I want to do. So I feel like, yeah, like releasing this song right now is probably the biggest moment of my career until I do my next thing and my next thing. And I try to always just push the flag further and just try to stay inspired, try to keep myself on my toes and just like have fun. Like if you're not living your life trying to have like a little bit of fun, and even when there's like seriously, everyone's got things that are hard and difficult. If you're not trying to like just like make the best of stuff, what are you doing? Like just walk around the planet feeling like bad? Like you got to try to make yourself and the other people around you feel good.
Fair point. What is, like, for example, your mom? Like she must be super proud. I mean, her reaction from the days of, hey, don't watch that video.
Oh my God.
To, this.
Oh my God. Yeah, of course. I didn't come from a place where like this was even possible. Like I didn't even know anyone who made made music, like let alone like professionally. So it's definitely like a pinch yourself moment, and she's beyond proud.
Benny, a quick recap. Bad Decisions, of course, featuring Snoop and BTS is out. Album later on this year. Not going to tour. You hate touring, which I get it. I think I saw a clip of Michael Jackson, who he was amazing on tour. I saw Michael. I was lucky, but to my understanding, he wasn't a big fan of the travel and all that as well. So
really,
I mean, look that clip up. I don't want to say things out of context and whatnot, but I don't think he enjoyed it as much as maybe we thought. Although he was amazing. Yeah. What else do people need to know about Mr. Benny Blanco?
Man, what do you need to know? Nothing. I feel like you just told my entire life story. I feel like you know me better than I know me. That maybe you need to know that I probably should brush my teeth a little bit more.
There we go. We started this whole thing off with me
full
brushing
circle,
my teeth.
Baby.
Now you got to brush. Benny, good to see you, dude.
Good to see you.
At the end of every interview, fist bump to make it official. Give me a little bam.